Tuesday night Krug show. Look who's in the house. Raj. He's got the hat going. I like that hat. Got the pennants going. We got a lot of Niner stuff to get to. Why can't they run the ball? Is the season over? How does the Bosa and Warner injuries impact the trade deadline? What the heck's happening to the 49ers offensive line? Is this season going down the tubes? Why does the intro of this show sound like a Batman? All right, off and running Tuesday night on the Krug show. I used to love Batman. Will the Cape Crusaders, will Batman and Robin beat the Joker? I love that show.
That was a good show.
Good show. Good show. Welcome to the Krug show. It's also a good show. Raj in the house Tuesday nights. We're talking Niners, as we always do. We're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out. Great place. Awesome food. Great people. Check them out. Title sponsor of the Krug show. Pig and a Pickle. And 49er football season is presented by Sleeper. They're a proud sponsor of the Krug show as well. We'll talk more about Sleeper. We'll do a Sleeper lineup. We're red hot on Sleeper. Also, thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles, my good friend Anthony Catania down there in Pacific Grove, California. He's at 831-521-5264. And Claw Daddy Arcades is one of our favorites as well. They're a great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades to find a location near you. All right, Raj, we're gonna take off and just jump right in. We got a bunch of things I want to get to. The 49ers can't run the ball. I mean, if they're 4-2, the biggest issue. I mean, we can talk about all these other issues, but you know what? If you really look at it, people think like the walls are caving in, everything's going wrong, guys are getting hurt, the season's done. I've had multiple people tell me that they should sell off of the entire team and the season's over. And I'm just like, pump the brakes. Let's calm down, everybody. Let's bring the temperature down a little bit. Let's take a look at this and let's be reasonable. The 49ers are 4-2. They're off to a good start. They have a good roster. They have some injuries. Okay, they have some flaws. Are they the best team in football? Probably not. But they're still 4-2 with a very favorable schedule. I think it's a favorable schedule. I think this game coming up is going to be a hell on earth. I think Atlanta's playing really well. They look really good. But I think the schedule is very favorable. I think the 49ers, there are 10 or 11 wins on this schedule. I really believe that even if you lose a lot of the close games, there's 10 or 11 wins, and that means they're a playoff team.
It's going to be close there.
Okay. I mean, I think they're a playoff team. I really do.
I think they are. But
see, here's my issue, though. I think it all goes back to the fact that they can't run the ball. It looks like they got a lot of problems on offense, but they don't. Kittle's going to come back. Their receiving core is going to get better as the year goes on because they've got more receivers coming. They've already got a decent core. You've got Mac Jones, who's I think playing pretty good football, and you got one main problem: you're not running the ball. Do you not like your running back? I think you do. You like your running back. So it's not the running back. So it's about the blocking for the running back. And we're going to talk about that today because Richard Sherman pointed the finger right at Jake Brendel and said it was Jake Brendel, basically. And the Niners are averaging 82.2 yards per game rushing. It's 30th in the NFL. And he basically points at Brendel. He has this long diatribe, and we're going to play some of it, where he's basically saying on that Levante David, block that on the screen that he missed it. But that's a bad example. I mean, I agree with Sherman's conclusion that Brendel is an issue, but the play that he picked is the wrong play. I mean, that was not a bad play. He got kind of faked out by Christian, and Levante made the tackle. It would have been nice, but Christian didn't read the block. And, it was, to me, it was as much McCaffrey's issue as Brendel's, but it just didn't work out. But either way, that's besides the point. That's one play. He says the plays are drawn up well, and basically saying, hey, Shanahan's a good coach. But then he says the center is whiffing and this and that. Obviously, Pooney's not playing well because of the knee, and you've got Colby, who's a rookie, who's got a groin injury, but they're 30th in the NFL at running the football. And I just think when you look at it, Raj, they can't run, and then it's causing them to pass all the time, passing 40 times a game. And when you're passing 40 times a game, now you're in a pass blocking retreat mode. And their offensive line's not doing the job. And Mac Jones has been hit 20 times in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Everything is about running the ball better. And I think they got the right runners. I just don't think they got the right line. So that's the question. Do you believe that the 49ers have a backup lineman that you want to see plugged in there against Atlanta for Brendel or Colby or Pooney in the interior? You're not going to change out your tackles, but the interior is grading out very low, very lowly rated across the board. Even Pooney, who we really like, has regressed significantly. What do you do? Do you replace an offensive lineman in that starting lineup? Do you have a backup offensive lineman that you feel good enough about to put him in there?
I mean, here's the thing. We've been screaming for offensive line help for years. Every year in the draft, get an offensive lineman. This year in mock drafts, get an offensive line. Like, it's just silly. Like, they neglect the offensive line every single year. And like this year, it's like, oh, we'll get an offensive line in the 7th round. Last year, they waited, and they even draft guys, and then they don't make the roster, and then they go to other teams. It's like, you guys think O-line's a joke. I do think you can probably bring in like Drew Moss or Drake Nugent. At least try them as center. I don't know if you're going to replace one of your guards, but at least fix at least one problem, center. I don't know if you're going to fix the guards. I mean, Pooney definitely has played very bad this year, but the injury has led to his downfall. Unfortunately, we've heard a lot of people talk about that. Kyle Shanahan said it. John Feliciano said it. I mean, it doesn't take a blind man to realize if you're injured, you're not going to play at your top level. So Pooney playing through injury is just not smart. He's a good player. We saw how good he was last year, but he definitely has regressed because of it. So, and it's the O-line has really just been lackluster on all aspects. Run blocking, pass blocking. I think George Kittle will help. He's a great blocker, right? Run blocker, but he's not going to he's not going to fix it from what it is to number one in the league. And you're absolutely right. Running has been horrible. So they're top team in passing. It's, you got to balance it out. But when you're passing so much and your O-line can't block, quarterback's getting shellacked. So I do think they need to make at least one move this week to the center position, shake it up a little bit, because that Atlanta line is pretty nasty. They got Josh Allen down pretty good. Like Atlanta surprised a lot of people by winning that game. Now you got Bijan Robinson coming to town. We haven't even started to talk about the defense, but we'll get there. It's going to be scary playing Atlanta. And I know you said we have an easy schedule, Larry. This schedule is not easy like everybody says. I said it all off season. You think it's easy, but a lot of those teams that were bad, they're better than we thought. Atlanta's better than we thought. New York's probably better than we thought. I think we could beat New York, but 10 a.m. game on the road, depleted roster. Like, hey, I love this team, but you got to realize replacing Fred Warner is not that easy. I know they got some good linebackers in the mix. Replacing Nick Bosa is one thing. They haven't done that yet. I'm sure they will, but first and foremost, you need to figure out something on this O-line because your offense is not going to score. And with Fred Warner down and Nick Bosa down, you're going to have to score more points. And, I mean, I love Eddie Pinheiro. This guy's been a dog, but you can't just score field goals every single game. So fix the O-line because we're going to need to score a lot of points because I don't think this defense is going to be able to hold teams to 17 to 20 points every single week now without Fred. So, yeah, fix that O-line. Take Jake Brendel out. I think Niner fans have been screaming this for months, for years. He's not a good center.
Here's what Sherman had to say about it. This is Richard Sherman on the Richard Sherman Show, and he didn't mince words. We won't play all of it, but here's some of it.
But I thought the interior offensive line was the issue late in the game, and I knew that would be the Achilles heel for this team. But it's not just on the passing plays, not just on the from the pass protection standpoint. It's ridiculous on plays that are set up successfully. Plays that are set up successfully, you got guys in space. All you got to do is block your guy. Block your guy, get in the way, Christian McCaffrey, let him do his work. And you can't even do that. And that's where it's starting to become devastating to this offense, because you can draw up the perfect play. But if you have guys that are incompetent, unable to get the job done, unable to block people, unable to block linebackers, then you can't run these plays. And you should be able to expect your center and your guards to be able to get out in space and get up on Levante David is an incredible player, all pro bowl, big time guy, been playing for a long time. I got a ton of respect for him, but you should be able to at least be able to get in his way. He shouldn't be able to shock, shed, and tackle Christian McCaffrey right where they were. And I think that's happened throughout the season on plays that are drawn up well, and we're looking at the center get up on guys and just whiff or not block at all. And I know that we're people looking at PFF grades and things like that, and I hate to harp on one guy, but it's been incredibly debilitating to this offense consistently. And there are plays that are drawn up for bigger gains that you can't get because one guy, throws a fly in a soup.
I mean, that's
100% right, Larry. This O-line is debilitating this team.
He's pointing the finger right at Jake Brendel.
He's bad.
Right at Jake Brendel. He's basically saying, Jake Brendel, you are put on notice. What do you think of that? Because, PFF has protected Jake Brendel.
Yeah.
But the film says otherwise. But Firster's protected Jake Brendel, but the film says otherwise. And Lynch and Shanahan have everybody's, loves Jake Brendel. But I mean, I think we got to acknowledge the fact who Jake is. He's a hardworking guy who was a street free agent who made himself a nice player in the league. But we're not talking about a first round draft choice. We're not talking about a guy who's just a blue chipper. And it's just, he had a couple nice years. One year he was a Pro Bowl alternate, but I don't know. I mean, personally, if it was me, I would put Drake Nugent out there. He had a really nice career at Stanford. He had a really nice career at Washington. He's a smart young guy. I think they are fortunate that he has not been plucked off their practice squad by another team. And if I were them, I would, before that happens, there was rumor of that a couple weeks ago. Before that happens, I would activate him and give him a shot. See if it helps. I mean, you're not running the ball at all.
You can't be worse than what you're doing because it's like he said, he's just a liability out there. You can't be worse. I would love Drake Nugent. He cannot be worse than Jake. And hey, look, man, Jake, career journeyman. He worked his way to get a starting roster spot. Like, I respect the hell out of his journey. Right? He was on multiple teams. He was on the practice squad. And again, though, it was the Niners being frugal. They're like, okay, we got this journeyman. Now he's worked his way up. Oh man, let's make him a starter. Like, it's the story. And the coaches, of course, they're gonna ride and die for the guy. They're not gonna throw him under the bus. They're gonna be like, yeah, he's a hard worker. He's a good guy, and he's worked hard. He's got he became like an undrafted guy, right? Practice squad guy, and then a starter. Like, it's a legitimately great story for the guy, but legitimately, he's not a good starting center. Like, I don't think any teams around the league would kick the tires on him unless they absolutely were desperate. And Niners need to focus on offensive line in the drafts. Like, it's like we sit there in the draft, and I feel like I'm sure everybody in the comments are going to say, like, okay, we need to get this O-lineman, and then they pass on him, and you're just going like, what are you doing? And then 7th round comes, okay, we'll just throw an O-line because we gotta get one, like, fans happy. We've passed on some really good offensive line. Creed Humphreys to name, like, there's been some really good linemen that the Niners could have had. And it's like, what are we doing? We got this Jake Brendel because you want to save a couple bucks so you can go pay.
It's not just that. I mean, I to me, they acted just a couple years ago like they had no needs at all. We'll take Jake Moody in the 3rd round. We'll take a kicker in the 3rd round. That speaks like, hey, we got our line of scrimmage down. You're using a 3rd round pick on a kicker. That's like, you're taking a very positive view of your team. That should have been that pick and the lot 2 pick. Way too many way too many of these total mid tight end picks. Let's see some offensive line draft choices. They've done a poor job on that front. Baldy weighed in on this too, and he went on the radio and he said the Niners basically have 5 running plays. He said, do they even have a signature run play that they can depend on? He's like, they don't have a go-to run play. And then he went through it and he's like, Connor Colby's a rookie and Dom Pooney's knee is taking him down a few pegs. And he says Jake Brendel's struggling. But it is interesting because there's 2 different, I kind of feel like we're at a fork in the road when it comes to the 49ers in this season. Like Matt Mayoko, for example, says there's no way the 49ers should trade any 2026 draft capital for anybody who's a pending free agent. And that the Niners should focus on developing young players. And that's what the rest of this year should be about, developing young players. Baldinger, on the other hand, says, man, if 49ers want to be competitive, and basically, in other words, what he's saying is make the playoffs, they need John Lynch to make a trade.
Yeah.
So, it literally is, Raj, the fork in the road. What should the Niners' primary focus be? They're 4-2, but Raj, they've got Atlanta, who looks like a house on fire, and then the Houston Texans in Houston. They 500 in the blink of an eye. What should be their primary focus the rest of this year? Should it be on winning games, go into the playoffs, or and maybe trade a pick or 2 to try to help you do that? Because they need help. They need a defensive piece up front. There's no question about that. They have to get help or they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Or do you say, you know what? No, we're not trading draft capital. Let's turn around and trade some players.
Well, they can do both. They can do a little bit of all of it.
And try to develop your roster. What do you think should be the primary focus of the rest of the year?
Honestly, I think you could kind of take both sides. Like, I know it's a young roster regardless. They got rid of a lot of people. Their roster's young, whether they bring in people or not. You still have, Upton Stouts of the world. You still have, Marquis Siegel. You still have CJ West. You still have Michael Williams, Alfred Collins. Those guys aren't going anywhere. They're going to play. They're going to develop. You have last year's young class, Malik Mustafa, Pooney. Like, your team is it's the 3rd youngest team in the league. So you are getting younger. You are developing your young talent. Like, I don't think it's stupid to say, oh, just hone on developing your talent. You're going to regardless, Larry. Now, the other thing is you should trade. You should be competitive. You're 4-2. The NFC's wide open. Like, yeah, you lost Fred. Yeah, you lost Bosa. You don't want to punt the lead this season. Still got an outside chance to make the playoffs. The Super Bowl is in your damn home stadium this year, in Levi Stadium. You need to give yourself a fighting chance. You need to give the fans a chance. At least give yourself a chance to make it to Levi Stadium. If you do, you never know. Home crowd in Levi's at Super Bowl would be crazy. Now, I'm not saying they're going to make it, but at least give yourself a damn chance.
But you're right. Your first point is totally spot on, which is the NFC it's wide open. It is wide open. I think if anything, the last couple of weeks should show us you learn about your team as the season goes on, but you also learn about the rest of the league.
Yeah.
And I think what we've learned is that Philadelphia has some issues.
Yeah.
Some of these teams that, you just never know. Like the Chargers suddenly, I know they're in the AFC, but the Chargers suddenly looked like a Super Bowl team that was riding high. Now, Herbert doesn't look quite as good, and they've had some injuries, and Marion Hampton's hurt, and they've got some,
a lot of injuries. And that's the other thing, Larry, is you can't predict injuries. Like, yeah, right now the Niners got a lot of injuries. They're licking their wounds. Who knows what's going to happen the rest of the league? It's been a weird season. Teams get injuries. It sucks. Like, I hope nobody else gets injured this whole season, the rest of the league, like league-wide, but it's just not going to be what happens. There's going to be injuries, and you never know. Sometimes that could play in our favor. Like, we might go, let's say we make playoffs and we play a team, like the Lions or something, and one of their key players is out. Like, that's going to help the Niners, right? Because we're playing them banged up, and you just never know. And also, to say that, you don't want to give up your draft capital, the Niners always get compensatory picks. Like, the one team in the whole NFL they should not worry about trading draft picks is the Niners, because you know what happens every single offseason? They get like a multitude of draft picks. So it doesn't matter if you give up a few here. You're going to get most of them back, and you're going to have like another 9 to 10, 11 draft picks. Every single year, the Niners seem to load up. The only thing you shouldn't do is trade 3 first rounds for a first round pick. That's all you got to do to avoid, messing up the draft. But otherwise, the Niners, they will get draft picks back because they get comp picks. They know how to finesse the system. They get the minority hires. They go become a coach somewhere, and they'll get, my draft picks out of it. So you got to get some type of veteran. You need to get a pass rusher. At the very least, at least get a damn edge rusher. There's some free agents. Clelin Ferrell was waived today. You can go pick up Clelin Ferrell.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys on practice squads. There's guys on the street.
Yeah.
There's trade opportunities. I mean, there's going to be some different options out there. The deal I like, or the team that I think is a good match for them, is Tennessee, because Tennessee has Jeffrey Simmons. He's a difference maker. I was listening to an interview that John Feliciano did today. He was on the radio, and I was driving around, and Feliciano was saying, he said a bunch of interesting things. I mean, he said that his message that he reached out to Pooney and said, hey, look, you got plenty of time to turn the season around.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of football left. What you do the rest of the year is much more important than what you've done up to now. So it's not like the season's over. That's one. I thought that was kind of an interesting perspective. He also said, I'm available for the veteran minimum. Should the Niners sign John Feliciano? I don't know if he's the answer, but
he's not.
I definitely think they need a veteran guard to come in for Connor Colby. I don't think they can do this with just a rookie guard.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they can't run inside at all. Brendel, I think, has to be replaced, but I think Colby has to be replaced as well. Not that Colby's not the long-term answer. I think he might be, but Pooney, I think, Feliciano thinks that Pooney's slumping. He says you can get into mental slumps. He thinks he might be in a slump.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And I think Pooney has shown us at one point or another that he's a pretty good player. But I would make that change internally at center. And I'll tell you, I would try to get Kevin Zeitler or, maybe a Joel Bitonio out of Cleveland. But I like the idea of a veteran guard, acquire a veteran guard, not for a high pick. We're talking about a day 3 pick. I would trade my second round pick if I could get Jeffrey Simmons. I don't want to trade my first round pick, but I would trade my second round pick and a package of other picks if I could get Jeffrey Simmons. But John made a really good point. He first of all, he said he thinks the Niners need to trade for a defensive piece, either a linebacker or a defensive lineman. He said that they absolutely need to do that. But then he also said that, when you get a guy in a trade who's a good player, that it really does kind of help the team's morale because they really gain confidence. He said when the Niners traded for Randy Gregory, he said he thought that was a really good get, and that actually gave the team a lot of confidence. And I agree. When you see a new guy come in the room with, you got some expectations, I think it does kind of give the room a little bit of confidence. And it really depends on how good that player is. If you add Christian McCaffrey, you're changing your team. But that's what I'm saying. If you could add a Jeffrey Simmons, Tennessee ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And the guard they have is also a super tough, veteran guy who could come in and impact that thing. How about a big defensive lineman, a big offensive lineman, and see if you can start running the ball better and see what you got. I mean, to me, the Niners have to try to get some change on their offensive line because if they can just run the ball better, I think their equation could come together. Their receiving core is going to come back. Right now, they're 4-2, and they're just the worst rushing team in football. If they can get the running game going, and you say, well, how do you do that? Well, if you think McCaffrey's the problem, then get rid of McCaffrey. But if you don't think McCaffrey's the problem, then it's probably your blocking. You're going to get Kittle back. You may get Ayuk back. I don't know. I mean, I would go for that veteran offensive lineman and try to plug him in and see if you could change a couple faces on that offensive line. Why? Because it's like an NBA trade. In the NBA, you see teams. The Warriors made one deal for Jimmy Butler, and all of a sudden they just totally took off. Why?
They were the best team.
Because when you only have 5 guys in the equation, if you change one, you're changing a huge part of it. And that's what an offensive line is. It's 5 guys. So if you change out, Brendel for Nugent or something like that, and then trade out Colby for a veteran guard that you really like that's going to grade out highly. Or maybe you sign a Feliciano, I don't know, but you get a better player in there than Colby. Maybe you start running the ball. I mean, I don't know. Maybe when they get their receivers back, they start running the ball, but you got to start running the football better, or it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. It doesn't matter who's rushing the passer. It doesn't matter who's in the secondary. It doesn't matter who's on special, that's where it starts, right? So it's like they got to get this run game going or the season is in peril.
No, I agree. I mean, that's Niners. Like, it's so crazy to see the Niners not being able to run the ball with Kyle Shanahan. Like, that is the staple. It's like, okay, you run the ball well. You might not do anything else well, but you run the ball well. This year, you don't. And it's a lot of it, I feel 100% is that O-line. Because McCaffrey's still putting up good. Look at him in the slot. He's becoming, wide receiver, running back, slash weapon type guy. So we know he still has the juice. He's out there doing his thing. These blockers are not good. And a couple of things with Feliciano. First off, don't bring him back. I know he wants to play. He keeps saying that.
It's like sign me to the league minimum.
Listen, he hasn't played in 2 years. He's retired. Like, he just stop. Don't. He does talk a lot, but he says some good things. Now, the other thing is, he's right. You need to get a veteran. If you can get a veteran lineman, that's great. Like, no disrespect to Connor Colby, but this whole season, I had a bad feeling with that guard spot because Ben Barch. How many times did we talk about Ben Barch? They put all their chips in Ben Barch's basket, and I was like, and go please get an offensive line, draft one, please go get a reliable guard. And they let Aaron Banks go. Obviously, he got a good paycheck. Happy for him. And then here comes Ben Barch. That's who you're really relying on. That was the worst mistake you can make because now you have Connor Colby, rookie, thrown into the fire. He's playing through a groin injury, so he's probably not playing the best he could, just like Dominic Pooney. So you have two guards.
I think Colby's going to be a good long-term player. I really do.
Right now, he's thrown into the fire because of Barch, and he's playing on an injury. So you have two guards playing through injury. They're not playing as good as they can, and probably mentally they're going through it. So like you said, Pooney probably is going through a slump. He's probably mentally frustrated because he was good last year. And, all the expectations were there, the second year, expectations, and he's not meeting them, and now he's hurt, and it's a cycle. So go get an offensive guard if you can, a veteran, decent veteran.
Kevin Zeitler would be awesome. Brawling, tough guy, guard. They need a tougher, bigger, tougher, meaner veteran offensive lineman, and they need to start running the ball in the middle of the field, or this season is kaput.
It's going to be tough, man, because like I said, we got some tough opponents. There's a few other teams that I haven't mentioned. Indianapolis, Larry. Colts, I thought that would
went well.
Easy.
That's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a tough game.
Indiana Jones looking sharp, so Niners.
Heck, the Bears last night beat the Commanders.
Bears look good, man. Bears look good.
Yeah, Bear game could be tough. All these games are going to be tough. I'm just saying they're winnable games. Yeah, they got 4 wins right now. I think 6 more wins probably gets them into a playoff. I think there's 6 wins out there for sure. I mean, I don't know exactly. I'll say this. I agree with you. I don't know exactly which ones they're coming at, which games, because you never know. They beat the Rams in LA, right? So, you never know. I didn't think they would lose to Jacksonville at home, but they did. So it's just, you just never know. It's the NFL. Anybody can beat anybody. I'll say this, and we'll get into the Falcons here in a second, but I think this game looks brutally tough.
It's gonna be a tough one.
I think this is the game. This is the one game I probably am not going to wind up picking the 49ers to win this game.
Wow. I mean, I wouldn't blame you. It's Bijan Robinson coming off his greatest performance of his career. I mean, and no Fred Warner. It's like it has all the makings of a slaughter of like Bijan going for 250 on us.
Yeah. By the way, did I tell you that my daughter and her fiance ran into Bijan Robinson in Atlanta?
Oh, wow. He's a dog, man.
Really nice guy. Really nice
best
guy.
Player in the league. You know what? He's the best running back in the league. He was one of my leagues. I get the number 1 pick, and I'm glad I drafted him. That guy's he's so smooth when he runs. Did you see that 81-yard run? Oh my
God. The head coach says he's the greatest player he's ever coached.
Wow, he's good.
Raheem Morris, is that who their head coach is? Raheem Morris. Yeah, he says the greatest player he's ever coached. Bijan Robinson. He's a talent, man. He's averaging 164.4 per game, yards from scrimmage, number 1 in the NFL.
Yeah, he's crazy.
They're good. And Drake Jackson and Penix to Drake Jackson's a thing. I don't know if you saw
You
that.
mean Drake
game.
London,
Drake
not Drake
London,
Jackson.
Drake London. Drake Jackson's back. I got Drake Jackson on the break.
Yeah.
Way to go, Drake Jackson, by the way. Drake Jackson, if you're watching this, Drake, I love you, brother. I love you, man. And good luck in Washington.
The Commanders are legitimately 49ers B team. They got Javon Kinlaw, you got Drake Jackson, you got Debo Samuel, and you got Mitch Wishnowsky. Adam Peters knows ball. He knows Niners. He's like, just bring him here. Debo, Drake, Javon Kinlaw, and Mitch Wishnowski.
Now, if they could just get Tabor Pepper, they could really liven things up. All right, 49er football on the Kreuger Show this season is presented by Sleeper. That's right, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and, of course, Sleeper Picks for daily fantasy, where you choose 2 to 8 players pregame or live and pick more or less on their stat projections. And if you're new to it, use promo code Larry. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100 on your first deposit. The link is right there in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, let's do a sleeper lineup for this week. We're going to do a sleeper lineup for this week. All right, let's get it.
We only do Thursday night.
Yeah, we can only do Thursday. We can only do Thursday night football, I believe.
Really? Yeah, maybe.
Or can we go in a game? Can we go in a game? Let's see.
Be able to go some other game.
Yeah, let's see. Why don't we check? Why don't we do the Niner game?
I don't think that one's available yet.
Because that's a Sunday nighter.
Sunday nighter, yeah.
Let's see. You want to do Pittsburgh? What game do we want to do here?
Definitely not Pittsburgh. Let's get an NFC game. Yeah,
we don't want to do that. Washington, Dallas.
The Seattle game? Let's see, Seattle.
Let's go Seattle.
Oh yeah, Seattle. Ooh, D'Amico.
I know my Hawks.
Demeco.
We've been killing it, by the way, on Sleeper. I look forward to this every week because we're just winning money hand over fist. We won again last week.
There you go.
I don't want to say it's easy, but this is Sleeper's kind of ezy. I may not even stream anymore. I may just go work for Sleeper because
you're just gonna go fucking become a better.
It's just like going to the ATM. I just type in my code and they spit out money.
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Sleeper. All right. What do we want to go with? Now I'm just seeing all kinds of different names.
Yeah, I think you clicked off. You went to all. You clicked off the game.
Is that what I did? Did I do this?
You did. I'm not controlling it.
I'm not controlling it. All right. I didn't mean. I'll get the clicker out of there.
All
right. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Jackson Smith, JSN. You know what? Somebody in my KBR Fantasy League tried to steal Jackson Smith from me today. What should be the penalty, Raj, for insulting fantasy trade?
Should make him drop his players. That's ridiculous, man.
It's like when you throw me an insulting fantasy trade. I gotta read this to you.
I get so many of those. I'm like, come on, dude.
Okay, listen to this terrible trade. This guy wants me to send him JSN and Brock Purdy for Cortland Sutton and Dak Prescott.
Come on, bro.
Come on, bro.
Come on. Are you kidding me?
Reject.
Cortland Sutton.
Sutton.
JSN is the number one receiver in the league, my boy.
I've got JSN.
That's all you need.
Seriously. Come on.
All right, let's
focus. Let's focus. All right, JSN. JSN, let's go anytime touchdown, JSN.
Anytime. You're going to get it in the first, second, third, fourth. Anytime he gets a tutty.
Yeah,
all right, that's it.
JSN. He's in the house. What else do we got?
Who's Stroud throwing a TD to? Nico? That's like his only weapon.
Probably Nico, yeah. What's Nico's? I guess we go anytime touchdown for Nico. Let's do that. We'll go anytime touchdown for Nico. He'll get one. Okay. All right. What else do we got? We got another name in there.
You can go Stroud or Darnold.
Let's go Darnold.
Darnold, okay. Your boy.
I think for sure he throws a pick.
Think he throws a pick?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Against this Houston team, this is a good secondary.
They're good.
So what do we have? Oh, all we have is 229 yards.
There's not more stats?
That's it. That's all we got.
What do you think? I think he's been tossing the ball, man. 229.
You like that?
I think he'll throw 250.
All right. We'll go more on 229.
Okay.
Try one more. We'll try one more.
I'll let you pick this one later. No DMs.
Let's go with Marks. Woody Marks. What's that? So anytime touchdown, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all we got for Woody Marks?
There's got to be more. You got to click on stat. Let's see. Got to be more, Mother. No, nothing. No. What about CJ Stroud? Is there anything on him?
Yeah, let's check CJ.
Okay. If not, I think we just keep it the way it is.
Yeah, let's keep it. I don't want to risk it. I like what we got. We got Darnold more for 230 yards. JSN with a touchdown and Collins with a touchdown.
I like it.
I like it as well. 5 to make 2290.
Not bad.
All right, there we go. I'm digging that. Now there's no, I mean, does it seem likely? Yeah, it seems likely. We're only going a three pronger there, but big thanks to Sleeper. And remember, use code Larry for 100% deposit match up to $100. Links right in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. It helps support the show and gets you rolling on the #1 sports app. And it's a ton of fun. Sleeper, thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Kreuger Show.
There you go.
All right, I went to Raj's Twitter.
Oh.
And Raj's Twitter, and there was the Kendrick Bourne thing on Fred Warner, and I wanted to let people see that. I wanted to comment on that.
Yeah.
So let's do that. Let's share the screen. Bingo, bango.
Check this Warriors. Warriors winning.
They're beating Portland.
Yeah,
they were losing early.
I know that halftime.
All right, here we go.
It was crazy. He like came out of nowhere through from the training room. Being hurt, his aura was still there, right? Oh shoot! Like, you know what I'm saying? With somebody different, And so he walked out on the crutches, and the room was just silent, man. That's the power he holds and the weight he carries. And he just told us not to worry about him. And the way he works on the field, he's gonna attack the rehab. But it took the life out of us in that game. It was a tough time. I love the way we still battle, but it's just a lot of adversity we facing, and it's gonna show who we are, who our backups are. Like, now it's ops for other people. And I go back to me and Mac Jones. We were kind of ready for our op, and it's showing. So whoever is behind Fred, whoever is behind whoever gets down, who are you? Are you going to step into your time? We want to focus on that because it's hard to keep mourning, bro, because it's Fred Warner. We can mourn for the rest of the year. And that's what he said out his mouth when he talked to us after the game, was like, hey, don't worry about me. And it helps us because it came from his mouth, and it's real.
Right, and it's real, and that's really what he means, and that as soon as that man can be back, he gonna be back.
There you go. Good little cut there from Bourne, and that's why he's on the Kreuger's fantasy team, because I talked so much trash about him. Then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick this guy up.
The switch up is crazy.
I got him on the fantasy team now. I got, because I lost Malik Neighbors. I needed a fantasy receiver, and Bourne was there. Bourne's been incredible. How about this? Bourne has gone over 130 yards now in back-to-back games.
I know.
Guess how many 100-yard games Kendrick Bourne has had in his career?
What, he had like 4, maybe?
That's it. The last 2.
Yeah.
He's never had a 100-yard game ever.
And you know what's crazy? Both of the games, 142 yards. He had 142 yards week 5 and week 6. That's actually crazy, dude. 15 catches on 20 targets, 12 first downs, 284 receiving yards. The guy's, listen, man, after that, that Saints game where he had some drops, and then the Jaguars game, he had some really bad drops, and everybody was just like, dude, you need to hit the jugs machine. Everybody was down on him. And for him to step back and just battle all that adversity, holy smokes, this guy's turned it up, man. I always liked Bourne when he was on the team. He left to New England a couple years back, got a big paycheck, and he wasn't horrible, but he was never like an elite receiver. But the fact he's back, he's that veteran. Like, I think he's having fun in the Bay, and he knows this team needs him. And I feel like he's kind of channeling. remember when Emmanuel Sanders came to the Niners and we needed that veteran presence. And you talked about earlier with a veteran player. When you get a guy that's just been in the league a long time, sometimes it gives you confidence and it's good for the team. And also it helps that he has Mac Jones. Mac Jones and him definitely have a really strong connection. So it's going to be interesting when Brock comes back, if he's still going to be able to keep that up. But right now, you got to put a lot of respect on Kendrick Bourne, man. This guy's been balling out.
Oh, he's playing great. He's playing absolutely great. And I also think it probably means that the Niners aren't going to pay a receiver for a long time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because this guy just picked this guy off the street and
making Juwan Jennings look silly.
Yeah, I mean, he's making plays left and right. And he's and it doesn't look accidental. It doesn't look accidental. He looks really good. On that note, I wanted to talk about Fred for a second, because one of the reports this morning was that from Matt Mayoka was that Niners aren't going to trade for a veteran linebacker. People are like, oh, go get Demario Davis or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not going to trade for a veteran linebacker. They're going to give that job to Tatum Bethune. And they may pick up a younger linebacker to back up because they're going to promote Bethune and they'll need a guy and that kind of thing. But I feel really good about Tatum Bethune, and I said so. And man, the feedback that I've gotten on Twitter today, it's like Niner fans just really don't believe in this guy. And I realize he had the busted play where the guy, Cameron Johnson crossed the formation and it was a busted play and the call wasn't made and nobody went with him. But I'm not saying he's Fred Warner. Fred Warner's 6'4", 220, has a, has an unbelievable coverage ability. This guy's 5'11", 225, 230. But this guy's instincts for the ball are great. And if he plays, he remade his body. He's lost some weight. He's gotten more muscle. He's a lot faster than he was when he came out. He also knows the defense. He's really good against the run. He's going to make lots of tackles. He's very, very, very physical. He's going to show up at the ball a lot. He's a little bit of a liability in coverage. He's not Fred Warner, but I think he's going to be pretty good. And I think Nick Martin's damn good. And I think they're going to be okay there. I don't think that's their problem. I think, they have other problems, but the one thing that I would do, and I tweeted about this today, and I want your thoughts. I mean, we've talked. You and I do a weekly show, so I've given you all the different ideas I've had through time, so you've heard all these names before of guys I really like. But I tweeted this today, and it was just, I said, after perusing all the practice squads, I did the exercise, right? I looked at all the 32 NFL teams. I went and looked at all the practice squads. Who's got what players and what? This is what I found. There's a whole list. There's a list of about 10 linebackers that are pretty interesting. And of the 10, these are the three most interesting. Chris Paul played at Ole Miss, drafted by the Rams, I think, or maybe signed after the draft by the Rams. I forget if they drafted him or signed him. But they cut him. He went to Seattle. John Schneider signed him. He's on their practice squad. He was a major tackler in the SEC. Eugene Asante. I love Eugene Asante. He was on the Kreuger show this spring. He's just a hyperactive inside backer who makes lots and lots of tackles everywhere he goes. Cleveland signed him today to put him on their practice squad. And then Chandler Martin is another guy out on my show. And he's from Memphis, and he's a great kid, absolutely fantastic kid. And Baltimore has him. He's 6 feet, 230. And he's on their practice squad. And I just said these three young linebackers are all better with more upside and a future than the Niners' current linebackers. And I listed Curtis Robinson, Luke Gifford, Jalen Graham. And I just, that, if you got a team that's just ready-made for right now, okay, fine. If you've got great linebackers that you're not going to need your backup linebackers to ever play from scrimmage, then fine. But I'd rather, I think those top three guys, Chris Paul, Eugene Asante, and Chandler Martin, are have significant more upside potential than Curtis Robinson, Luke Gifford, Jalen Graham. So I don't know. Obviously they're going to promote Tatum Bethune. He's the first guy up. Nick Martin is going to finally get activated from the practice squad, and he'll be activated, I'm sure, one of these days. But I'd like to see them go find another linebacker. Like Luke Gifford is never going to replace D. Winters. You know what I mean? Curtis Robinson is never going to be a starting linebacker for the Niners. I hate to say that, but they're topping out at special teams. Jalen Graham,
they're special teamers. That's what they're going to do.
They're special teamers only. Where I'd like to see them take, if you want to have one special team only linebacker, you want Gifford or you want Robinson, okay, fine. But I'd like that other guy to be a guy who could be, Nick Martin, or he could be, he could start. And I think Asante, Chandler Martin, Chris Paul Jr., I like those guys. I think those are the kind of young, fast, hyperactive second level. They're all undersized. They're all great run guys. All those guys run really well.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all tackle machines. They're all on the undersized side. They got to be protected a little bit. But there you go. What do you think?
No, yeah. At the end of the day, if they're not going to get a veteran, at least bring in somebody. You need depth because you're going to have to promote somebody, so you're still going to need another guy. So 100%. If I had to go off that group of guys you brought up, I like Chris Paul. I liked him coming out of the draft. So he's all-time.
We did a mock, I think, that you had him in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Chris Paul, go get him. I think he'd be a good depth piece. It's going to be interesting to see Nick Martin. Every fan's calling for him to play. You got a lot of pressure on that boy, so he's got to step up. Tatum Bethune, I know a lot of people are soured on him. We posted about him these last couple of days, and people are like, I don't know about Tatum. Da, da, da. Listen, man, when Fred Warner goes down, it's hard to get thrown into the fire. Like, I know he was probably ready. Like, you always got to stay ready for the moment, but replacing Fred Warner is not easy, Larry. It's not. You're just not going to replace Fred Warner. Like, you're going to have someone that's going to come in and play good, but you're never going to play at the level of Fred Warner. He's the best defensive player in the NFL. He's best in the world, right? He was Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He was top candidate, one of the best. It's going to be hard to replace a guy like that. And also, with Fred being the mic, he's the quarterback of the defense. He calls the plays, and it's a very young defense, and they look for the guidance of Fred. Like, there's been a lot of people debating this, and I think 100% it's a bigger loss of losing Fred than Nick Bosa. Like, Nick Bosa was 100% a huge loss, but Fred Warner, when it's the fourth quarter and you got 3 minutes and you need a big play, the defense is looking to him. What do we do, Fred? What do we do? And he's going to tell them, this is what we can do, guys. He's that guidance, and now you don't have it. A young defense has to figure it out with their captain, without their leader. He's got that green dot on his helmet for a reason, and it's going to be hard to sit there and call everything. Like, it's not just easy. So, yeah, maybe Tatum Bethune didn't play the greatest, but that's a lot of weight on your shoulders to come in and replace the best defensive player in the entire NFL, calling the shots, being the quarterback on the field, being the general, telling everybody where to go. And, again, you don't have that guidance in the pressure situation. So, Diamo Lenore, he said he's going to have to step up and be that leader, be more vocal. Someone's got to step up and say, hey, look, guys, this is what we do, because it is going to be a very tough job to replace him. I know Saleh is an amazing defense coordinator, but I feel bad for that guy. Listen, man, he came in to fix this defense. You lose Bosa, you lose Warner, your two best players, and it's like, holy crap, we got this young defense. Let's buckle up and figure it out. So, I got a lot of high hopes for Tatum and whoever steps in. I hope they can come in and make a difference. It's not going to be easy, but it's the next man up, and this team has a lot of heart. They played tough without Fred throughout that game, but in the fourth quarter, man, you just lose steam. The turnovers got to them. If you look at the two games they lost, so I think they lost by a combined 16 points, something like that. They were close, just mistakes. They got to play mistake-free football no matter what, no matter who you have on your team. So I hope this team can rally. And like Fred said with Kendrick Bourne, he says, don't worry about me. So I think he really means that, and this team has to play their tails off for Fred, man.
Well, people were like, well, who's going to be the leader of the defense? And that's a good question. I don't know who the leader of the defense is, but Tatum Bethune is going to play that Mike linebacker, and he'll wear the green dot. And I will say this. I mean, I've talked to him a number of times. This guy knows how to play football, and this guy knows this defense. He's not Fred Warner, but he's not going to embarrass himself. He's a big-time hitter. He's going to be really strong against the run. They may have to go to some dime looks and some nickel looks and try to find a better pass defender on some key passing downs. Maybe they'll have to use three safeties and that kind of thing at times to cover for his lack of coverage. But I think Bethune's going to surprise people. I really do. I think he's going to surprise people. As far as Fred Warner's recovery timeline, they're saying it's around 3 months.
Well, 3
So
months to recover, but I mean, you're still not going to be in like football form and football shape. But
yeah,
for the
it's next year.
injury,
Yeah.
the surgery to recover and stuff, yeah. But then there's still more that goes into that. But that's a tough injury, man. It was just like as soon as he went down and he had the air cast on, I know 100% already knew. I get it doesn't take a medical person to know, but once you have an air cast, 80%, 90% chance it's either fractured or dislocated. And unfortunately for him, it was both. And then his he works for he sponsors this lawyer group here in town. You've probably seen the billboards all over the place.
Right.
Zarada, the lawyer, the lady that does the HR and marketing and social media and stuff, she hit me up because we've done some content and stuff. And she hit me up. She goes, "It's broken." This was like 2 hours before Shanahan announced it. And I was like, "That's exactly what I thought." She was like, "Yeah, his agent hit me up. It's broken." As soon as that happened, Larry, I was like,
broken
man,
and dislocated.
they said it was dislocated at first, but nobody knew it was also broken. So she told me this like 2 hours before the game was over, like at halftime. And then when I found out, I was like, oh, man, honestly, the outcome of the game to me didn't really matter after I found that. I was like, that's tough because he's the heart and soul of this team, Larry. He's the man.
Oh, believe me, dude. I'm there. I'm in the room.
Yeah.
I watch this guy on lethargic, hot summer days in practice when guys don't want to practice. Talk it up and get guys going. And yeah, you're right. He's the heartbeat of the thing. I mean, in a lot of ways, the Niners have they got a lot of great players, but as far as the tone-setting leaders, I mean, George Kittle on the offense and maybe Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey to a lesser degree, Trent Williams, but George Kittle is kind of the offensive guy, and the defensive guy is Fred. And if it wasn't Fred, it was Dre. And now it's like, who's going to step up and be that leader? And you can't fake it. It's got to be natural. You got so much youth there. I'm not really sure who the leader of that defense is. Maybe it's Lenore, I'm not really sure who the main leader will be, but leaders will have to emerge. Marquise Siegel, by the way, has struggled in pass coverage. He's allowed 22 receptions and 388 passing yards, most of any safety in the NFL. And I think he's a pretty good player, actually. I just think that he's another young player who's been forced to play a lot early, and it's just it's a challenge. So, what do you think? Who would you say is their best safety tandem going forward?
Your guess is as good as mine. Like I think Siegel has played well, but again, rookie, they're going to pick defenses are going to pick on him, man, and it's unfortunate because he's trying to learn trial by fire. I think he's done a good job. He's made some big plays here and there, but coverage skills right now, he's getting filleted out there, and it's unfortunate. Jair Brown, he's played better, but he doesn't have the best coverage skills. Pinnock, his coverage isn't good, and his tackling skills are kind of off, but he's kind of been up and down. Obviously, Mustafa's great. Honestly, man, I couldn't even tell you who their best duo is. It's because all of them have had their bad moments. Mustafa's only played one game, and he looked good in limited time. So they need to figure that out. Honestly, any one of those three, it's a crapshoot to me. Man, those safeties have been looking rough. And when teams play us, they just know, let's attack the zone. We'll take the safeties, and that's what they do because they're not really throwing it to the corners, right? Lenore and Renardo Green have not let up a lot of yardage. If you look at the analytics, it's that zone, it's over the middle, it's the safeties. They're just getting beat, man. I don't know.
I would stay with Siegel. I really would. I would stay with Siegel and play Mustafa and Siegel and play Brown more as a linebacker in a 3-3. Have him be the third safety and use Pinnock as just a guy to spell everybody. That's how I would play it. I want to see Mustafa and Siegel. That's the future. It takes time for a safety tandem to learn each other. And I think this is valuable time, even if it's a down. Some positives can come out of even if this winds up being just an okay year or year where they, make the playoffs, lose in the first round, whatever. If you can develop your roster, and that's one of the things, your safety tandem. I think the long-term tandem is Siegel and Mustafa, and I think Brown is the third guy, and I'd like to see them try to work those guys in more. And if that means Pinnock's got to sit, then Pinnock's got to sit. Yeah. What do you think of this proposed trade? This was another one that I saw today. I think is kind of interesting.
The Kayvon Juwan. Yeah, the one they got that from my Instagram.
That's from yours. You put that out.
I posted on Instagram. We did a collab with the person that made the graphic, but I know Coach Yak posted that up today.
How'd you get Thibodeau to put on the Niner uniform, and how'd you get Juwan to dye his hair blue?
Hey, when we have a good graphic designer on our Football Forever collab page.
What do you make of this? I mean, first of all, what do you think the Juwan Shanahan thing is anything at all? And some people are like, hey, you know what? He needs to go because now they've got Bourne and they've got Ricky and they've got Watkins and they've got other guys that they're not they're not going to pay Juwan, and obviously Juwan's. I don't know if Juwan signed a deal with incentives and that's why he's kind of was arguing, but anytime you have incentives that you care about, it's always a kind of a bad look in the midst of a loss if you're worried about your incentives. But I don't know that that's the case. And Juwan's been an absolute warrior for the Niners. And I just don't, I don't think you get better trading the Juwan Jennings of the world, but I would do this deal in a freaking heartbeat.
Do it right now in a minute. Like, I like Juwan. I love him. He's a gritty player, but he is trying to get his. I don't know if the incident was because of the incentives, but I know he's playing. He said after the game, right? 5 broken ribs, high ankle, low ankle, shoulder. He's playing through these injuries because his contract is set up that he has to play to get his incentives, right? There's probably a certain amount of snaps, catches, yards, all that stuff. He wanted a contract extension this year. He didn't get it, but he got more money based on incentives. So he's playing through these injuries. So he's tough, but it's not smart, and it's detrimental to the team. It's detrimental to him. I don't think you should trade him, though. I know a lot of people want to trade him. You're not going to get much value unless this is your trade. Like, do it, but you're not going to get much out of Juwan Jennings. He's a 7th-round pick, and no disrespect to him, he's going to be a free agent this offseason. So he's trying to play and showcase his talents so he can get paid this offseason. And I commend him. Obviously, I'd try to do whatever I can to show that I'm worth money, and that's where Juwan's coming from. But I don't think that we're really going to get much out of Jennings. Like, this is a cool hypothetical. It'd be amazing. We'd all do it right now. We need to help the defensive line. Kendrick Bourne's been balling out. We're getting Ricky Pearsall back soon and Kittle. So, yeah, you can make the trade. I just don't think it would.
I don't know if that makes sense. I would say this. How about this? Because where does Juwan have value? It's Tennessee. He's in Tennessee. He's a star.
He's
he'd sell
celebrity in Tennessee. Yeah,
he's a celebrity. It would be major news if he went there. So I would say, Juwan and the 2nd-round pick for Simmons and Kevin Zeitler.
Now we're talking.
That would be nice. Couple last thoughts before we bolt for the door. There's some interesting stuff today. Niners had some workouts today.
Mm-hmm.
They worked out Trey Hawkins, the veteran corner, who's 6'2", 188 pounds. New York Giants drafted him in the 23 draft in the 6th round out of Old Dominion. He's got 4.39 speed. So that's interesting. They've worked out a corner. They worked out Isaiah Bolden, who's also a corner, good-sized corner. They worked out another DB named Shamar Bartholomew. And then they worked out Andre Dillard, according to Tom Pelissaro.
Yeah.
What do you make of that one? Because I've been saying it for weeks, and I don't know if anybody listens to what I say or anything. Probably not. But I've been saying for weeks that I don't think Austin Pleasance can pass block. I'm really concerned about it. I'd be very concerned for Mac Jones if Colton McKivitz or Williams go down. If they go down, now Dillard, on the other hand, is not a good run blocker, and that's his reputation throughout his career. But he is a good pass blocker.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, what do you think? What do you make of Andre? I mean, the Niners had Andre Dillard this summer. Yeah, they obviously liked him.
Hurt.
He's a former 1st-round pick. He played like 3 days maybe of practice, and then they injury settlement.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think they'll sign Andre Dillard and cut Austin Pleasance? I mean, I don't think Pleasance can pass block. I don't know. I think they're really in a bind if they get a tackle injury.
I mean, if they get a tackle injury, they're absolutely screwed. So yes, bring him in, because if he can pass block, you might as well. And Austin, listen, They need to get Austin Pleasance off this team, Larry. This man stepped on Eddie Piñeiro's foot. I mean, his foot is 20 times bigger than Eddie Piñeiro's. He almost ruined our kicker of the year candidate. Like this man, Eddie Piñeiro, you need to treat that foot like it's gold or platinum. This man's foot was stepped on before at halftime after he drills that kick. And Eddie was limping. I was irate. I'm sure every Niner fan was. Austin Pleasance, you out of here. You out of here, man. You almost ruined our kicker. Get in Andre Dillard. He won't step on his foot.
By the way, Eddie Piñeiro is like the greatest. I mean, one of the great stories. I mean, I was happy for Jake Moody the other night, by the way, last night, but Eddie Piñeiro, I mean, Eddie Piñeiro is literally one of the bright spots of the year.
Bro, he's money. He's the best. He's
amazing.
Listen, this offseason, I said the best move the Niners made was getting Robert Saleh. Scratch this. This season, the best move the Niners got was Eddie Piñeiro. We don't win those games if we don't have Eddie Piñeiro. Like, this is our offense right now. The guy is like, he's a machine. Did you see? He's like kicking him from 50s plus every time down the middle. I was like, man, and then boom, and then boom, and then boom. I'm like, this man, it's just amazing. And during his interviews, he's always said, if I miss it, I don't have a job. Like his mentality is, I have to make this kick. I absolutely love Eddie Piñeiro. How many times have I sat here and told you these last couple of weeks, go get some Eddie Piñeiro merchandise, please, Larry. You need to stop.
I've been saying it to Kev. Let's get our Eddie Piñeiro
merch, man. I love him. But real quick, there's a comment.
He leads the NFL in field goals made.
He's only played. Well, he missed what? He
the
missed.
49ers are 4-2, but they're 28th in the red zone. And how are they 4-2? Eddie Piñeiro leads the NFL in field goals made.
That's amazing.
Leads the NFL.
He's amazing.
I mean, who would you say? This is the poll question today. Which Niner acquisition has been the most impressive so far this season? Here are your choices.
I got it.
They don't even have Robert Saleh, but we could throw Robert Saleh.
It was the player. Yeah.
Mac Jones, Kendrick Bourne, Eddie Piñeiro, Bryce Huff.
I'd say Piñeiro's one.
Those are four good football players right there.
They're really good. I think Piñeiro's one. We had to make that move, and he's been so confident. He's making the kicks, and we're winning games with him. Number two is Mac Jones. Mac has been if we don't have him, we don't win those games. Brock Purdy got hurt, and this guy's been unbelievable, right? And then I say three. This is a tough one. I'd probably say Kendrick Bourne. He's really come up these last 2 weeks, especially with all these wide receiver injuries. And it's so close.
Huff is your best pass rusher.
Four, but he's your best pass rusher. But he's been a situational pass rusher up until the last 2 weeks. But he's been great.
Here's the other one that's just amazing. This is an amazing stat. I heard this today. Kendrick Bourne has 130 yards, 2 games back to back. Let me see if I can find it. Kendrick Bourne. What's that?
Did we say that at the beginning of the show?
That he's got, but that he's never done it before.
Yeah, we said that at the top of the show.
Yeah, we said that at the top. That's right. Okay. I've done so many streams today. I don't know if I put that in there. Okay. 2 last ones too. Jerry Rice. Happy birthday, JR. Give me your greatest Jerry Rice memory.
Man, there's so many good ones. There's too many good ones, man. He's the GOAT. He's the best. But I got to say, man, when he broke the record against the Raiders Monday night, and he got the record. You remember that call against the Raiders, the all-time touchdown record? Like, come on, man. That's got to be it. That's the one. There's too many good ones, man. There's too many good Jerry Rice moments.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many great ones. The Texas Stadium one for me when he beat the Cowboys in '95. Niners were huge dogs, and he just ran through the middle of the defense right out of the anthem, and Niners won on the road at Texas Stadium as 13-point underdogs. That was amazing. I would say that one. That's right there with one of the greatest football moments, because I mean the momentum. The Cowboys were great. They won the Super Bowl that year. I gotta go with that one. Last thought before maybe we should hit our supers.
Hit them supers.
What are we talking
real
about?
quick? Someone in the comments said I was capping. Let's tell them about the Fred Warner story. I got sources and everything, but let me tell you, look at this. Sunday, 2:45 p.m. I get the text 2:45 p.m. I got a timestamp. Says it's broken right there. Crying emoji is broken. So,
Don't ask for receipts from Raj. Raj is a made man on this show.
come on, man.
Raj doesn't have to provide receipts.
I do. I keep the receipts.
I know you do. You have receipts. Doesn't mean you have to provide them.
I'm going to.
All right. Today's show is sponsored by Habas Law. For more than 40 years, Omar Habas and his son Tarek have been standing up for people right here in the Bay Area. We love Tarek. We love Tarek and Omar. Amazing law firm, Habas Law. They're fierce, relentless attorneys. They don't back down until justice is done. They're what I love about them is they're real people. They're rooted right here in the community. They're Giants fans. They're Niners fans. They're Warriors fans. They're just like you. So if you need someone in your corner, call the law firm the insurance companies hope you never call, and that's Habas Law. They will fight to make it right. Their website is habaslaw.com, HABBAS law.com. They will fight to make it right. 1-800-INJURED is their number, and they bring us our super chats here at the end of the show. So let's run through them. The Habas Law Supers. Here we go. MSQ says Moody revenge game on Debo. LOL. All love for them.
Man, what a
I
story.
didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no, that was like the big we posted about yesterday. Like, listen, MSQ, shout out to MSQ. He's been Jake Moody's #1 fan. Every week when I would sit here and talk stuff about Moody, he like would give it. I don't remember if you remember. He'd like fight back with me in the comments. So shout out to MSQ. He's been a loyal Jake Moody fan. Must have been his happiest night of his fandom last night. Jake Moody, man.
He stuck.
Bro, you know what was wild though? For a minute there,
I thought he was going to miss it.
When Javon Kinlaw, oh my God, what a moment for Niner fans. Javon Kinlaw with the block. And then Jake Moody, game winner. You know, Debo on the other sideline was so sick. Oh my God. What a game for Jake, man. I'm so happy for him that he did that and he won. I hope that gives him the confidence. I want him to succeed. It was a great moment. And then at his post game, he said, look, I just need a fresh start. I hope this fresh start.
Yeah, and they'll love him there. University of Michigan and, Chicago. It's real close.
Yeah,
he's a Midwestern guy. He was a star at Michigan. I hope it works out for him too, dude. I hope he goes on and has like a 10-year great NFL career.
Yeah.
You know what? I really do. Some people I think sometimes when you make a trade, I think the natural thing is to root against the player you traded, right? Because it's like you're like because you want to win the trade. You want your team to win the trade.
Absolutely. And I hope he does good though. But let me tell you, we got a game against Chicago in a couple of weeks, and I cannot wait for Eddie Pinheiro, Jake Moody. That is going to be absolute cinema. I hope it comes. Honestly, that's the one game I hope we trade field goals with the team. I got to see the battle of Jake versus Eddie. Settle it on the line. It's going to be like Mayweather, Pacquiao. It's going to be unbelievable. That is going to be my favorite game of the year. Eddie versus Jake for all the marbles, man.
Bears get the ball 20-20 in overtime. They drive down. Eddie kicks a 59-yard or Jake kicks a 59-yard field goal to put the Bears up 3, but the Niners get the ball back, and Eddie hits a 60-yard field goal to tie the game. And then Jake comes down and makes a 65-yard. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
misses the field goal, misses a 60-yard field goal, and then Eddie Pinheiro hits a 65-yarder.
That would be sickening. That'd be I got to see it. But yeah, someone said that Eddie Pinheiro's phone call to Jake healed him, like cured him. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he just needed that.
Yeah, seriously. Eddie's got the magic touch. PWS is, I don't know why, but I'm intrigued with the trio of
Nick Martin, Tatum
Bethune, and D. Winters. I don't know why. I know why. Those guys are badasses.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Martin's really good. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Tatum Bethune was too slow a year ago, but I think he's fast enough now. And I think Winters is going to be a real nice player. I like those guys.
That's going to be fun.
I like those guys. And if you could go get Chandler Martin or Eugene Asante, I'd be all for it. Kid Trickster, Rich Madrid still thinks Brendel isn't a problem.
Okay.
All right. There, what can I say?
What can I say?
The
Kid
great
Trickster.
the great Madrid. I used to battle with Rich, but then I realized it's not worth it. It's not.
I think everybody that's a 49ers content creator has gone to war with Rich Madrid.
Yeah, well, because he's super aggressive,
He
but
is.
whatever. I mean, you know what? People are going through things sometimes. Whatever.
Mhm.
Rich, if you're out there, God bless you, brother. Boxing fan ×4. What's Forster doing? Seems like a guy just content with keeping his job. He said high draft picks should be used on skill position. Coach these guys up. Well, you know, in some ways, I know what you're saying. It's like, wouldn't you want to have better players? And he's like, hey, I can take my guys later, which may give you better job security because you can always fall back on, look what I got. I don't have guys. But you know what? Then there's another way of thinking of it. There's really not that much of a difference between Bob McKittrick and Chris Forster. Now, McKittrick was a better coach, I think. McKittrick was, his teams won Super Bowls, but they a lot of same stuff. Smaller guys, movement over power, leverage, emphasis on quickness and not size and strength. Undersized guys, late drafted guys. Harris Barton was a first-round pick. Bubba Paris was a first-round pick. They were the tackles. But all the rest of those guys were late-round picks. They were not – Jesse Sapol was like a 12th rounder. There was a lot of late rounders, a lot of street free agents. I'm just saying 49ers never were built with blue chipper offensive linemen, but they did have first-round tackles. And you can't fake tackle. And I kind of feel like – the Niners have gotten by for a while because Trent Williams is great. And now Trent Williams is kind of showing his mortality. And that also is hurting. You know, they've gotten by. And when I'm saying this, I really mean it too. It's like if you watch the 49er offensive line, they slide away from Trent and put Trent on the island against the best player. And they just say, take the best player away, Trent, and we'll block the other guys over here.
But they don't.
He's done that until this
year. He's getting old, but he's getting older. You can't just rely on him because he's not going to be walking through that door every day. At some point, you're going to slide to the left or slide to the right, and then he's not going to be able to protect, and you're screwed. And then, like this weekend, when they played the Bucs, the best defensive lineman wasn't on the edge. It was Vita Vea, and that interior O-line. Oh my God!
Dude, how about the Vita Vea where he drove over Dom Pooney? And Dom Pooney kind of pulled him down.
Yeah.
It was like a big roll. It was like a bowling ball. It was like Pooney went down and then he kind of brought Vea on top of him. And they kind of, I mean, that can't feel good.
That was
Vita Vea rolling over the top of you.
Dude,
he's a house.
He's a monster, bro. He's
a condominium complex.
Dog walked our entire. There's a clip from, I think, Brandon Thorne. He posted a clip. And it was, here's Vita Vea on Kobe. Here's Vita Vea on Jake Brendel. Here's Vita Vea on Dom Pooney. I was like, this man took every single one of our guys and just threw them. It's like a cartoon. You watch a cartoon where they just like throw the guys, like the Juggernaut on Spider-Man. This is literally what he did. I was like, that's amazing.
JC Montana, does Sherman have direct contact with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. They have direct contact with him. He's played for the Niners. PWS, what does Jake Brendel have on the Niners?
Got something.
Wow. MSQ, genuine question. What's the story on BA?
No. So the story is there's no story.
Okay, but first of all, okay. This one always drives me crazy. So just because somebody takes a story down doesn't mean that there was no credibility to any aspect.
There's no credibility on that story, Larry. I'm not gonna say. Listen,
but I mean, I'm just saying, just because the person took that story down doesn't mean. What's that? Doesn't mean that. I mean, those are still facts.
But listen, no. The whole point is,
the facts are the facts.
The facts are he hasn't followed his team in a long time, but she's making it seem like he all of a sudden scrubbed his media. It's been like that, but he has a link to the Niners. Like, And then the other part is no. She said that he hasn't showed up in practice.
Yeah,
Last
has he
week on
not?
KMBR, John Lynch was literally. If you listen to KMBR, I remember listening to it on my way to work.
He was
Driving,
there. I know he was there a few weeks ago.
and he said, "I'm looking through my window, watching Brandon Ayuk practice." John Lynch literally said, "I'm looking through my window."
So who wrote the story?
Jennifer Lee Chan.
Okay.
Oh, she's gonna kill me.
She's going to kill you?
She's probably listening. She probably heard her name got thrown out. But
No, I mean, JLC, we're friends. I mean, and she sent me a text saying, or Twitter DM saying that the
DM'd
story,
everybody. She DM'd me. She DM'd everybody I posted
I
that.
mean, she's a pro. So do you think that everything is 100% between the Niners and Ayuk? Or do you think that the Niners would like to part ways with Ayuk eventually?
Next year. They got to see what he's got left in the tank. I think everything's
He's not worth anything now. Nobody's going to trade for him now.
No, that's what they have to see what he's. They got to bring him back and see what he's got left in the tank. If they do want to trade him next year, offload him, they need him to play and see what he's worth. I don't think there's any drama. I think people want there to be drama because it's great for views and stories, but I think everything's cool. I think he will come back at some point this year, and they're going to see what he has left. And if it doesn't work out with the Niners, they can figure out a trade partner. But I honestly don't think anything is there. I think there's nothing.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Just seems to me that any receiver making money with Kendrick Bourne making nothing, dominating. I don't know. I don't see the Niners wanting to pay running receivers anytime soon, but who knows?
Good for Kendrick, but also there's really nobody else on. You got to realize he's the only receiver right now that's kind of worth something right now.
What do you make of Kendrick dominating the way he's dominating?
I think I honestly think it's because Mac Jones is there. Him and Mac have a very good connection, and I think he's benefiting from that. Again, what I said earlier is I don't know if his production is going to be the same when Brock Purdy comes back. I really don't.
Watching this connection though, who were Mac's college receivers? Was it Jerry Jeudy?
No, he had Devonta Smith. He had AJ Brown. He had
not AJ
Brown. Not Devonta Smith.
Devonta Smith won the Heisman.
Who else is there? Yeah, I think it was Jerry Jeudy. He had all the Alabama.
Was it Jeudy? Was it Ridley? Who was the guy? Who did he?
Might have been Calvin Ridley. They had some like dogs in Bama. Ruggs, Henry Ruggs. He had Henry Ruggs, a murderer.
Ruggs is getting out next year.
I think he had Waddle also, if I remember. He had Waddle, Devonta, I think Ruggs, and then
I asked because look at the way Bourne shines with Jones. You just wonder, does Jones have other guys that he could unlock? JC Maney, I swear we got multiple 49er teams. LOL. We got OGSF 49ers, Miami 49ers, Houston 49ers, Denver 49ers, Washington 49ers, and home, away from home, Levi's South, etc.
We do. All these teams have Niners on their teams. They love us. We have a lot of good players.
Well, what can you say? We get this one from what is it? What does that say?
It's Nick.
It's Nick. Hey, I know Drake Jackson, close friend, and he said the 49ers wanted him back. Drake thought his best option was the Commanders.
I think that's
I'm sure they did want him back. He's a great guy. He's a terrific guy. They drafted him. They were the ones who were invested in him. I would have loved to have seen him back. That's for sure. The Recovery 716. Hey, Raj and Larry, love the show. Remember Dixon's. Come on now, bro. Come on now.
It wasn't Kid True. Who do you remember?
LOL. Let's sign that guy. Yeah, I know Cider. Are you a fan of Cider?
Love Cider.
Yeah, I like Cider. That's terrible. That's just terrible.
They always get you.
That's terrible.
It wasn't Kid Trickster this time.
I have 4 children. Raj has children. We have mortgages. We cannot screw around with Dixon Cider. That ain't right. That just ain't right.
That's how you get kids, Larry.
That just ain't right. I mean, even YouTube is going to come back, and the YouTube police are going to come down and say that ain't right. Habas Law is going to come down and say, I will fight to make it right, but that ain't right. JC Montana, where can we catch you on game day to take a picture? I think they're talking to you, Raj.
Me? It depends. It depends on what time of the game, because sometimes I'll be at tailgate, sometimes I'll be close to where I'm at getting videos and stuff. But I don't know. If you message me, you could always tell me where you're at. I can meet you. I meet a lot of people at the games. They always say what's up. But yeah, usually I'm at the tailgate like 2-3 hours before the game, so that might be the best spot.
JC, if you're talking to me, you know, I'm wrapped in that 8th floor of the press box, so I'm pretty much up there. But I you know, I get in, I go through the media entrance, then I walk through around the middle, around the front, by the museum, by the KMBR studio. If you wait, if it's pregame and you really want to meet, right between the museum and the box office ticket gate, right there. That's where the studio is, and it's on Tasman, and I walk over there. So if you want to hang out on Tasman there, I walk through there. I usually, if it's like a 1 o'clock game, I'm on with those guys at 11. So I'll right around 10:45. I'll be cruising through there. So there you go. So come say hello. Love to take a picture. I do that a lot as well. The great Anthony Catania in the house is one of our sponsors. Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. We were talking about them earlier. Off the rip today, we gave them a little love. Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles, 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, on the Monterey Peninsula. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony's at 831-521-5264. He says, love the show, guys. Larry, you are one of the hardest working people in the industry. Keep the faith. Go Niners. Yeah, that's the keep the faith, I think, is if you're going to be called faithful, you can't just lose 2 guys to injury and say, the season's done, right? Especially when you're 4-2. We all love these guys, but it wasn't like you lost really good players. But guess what? The Chargers lost Rashawn Slater, and then they lost Alt, and Green Bay one year went to the Super Bowl. They had 22 guys on season-ending IR. There's guys going down left and right. The team that the Niners just played lost. Kalijah Cansey's awesome. He's done for the year. Wirfs was there, but Kadecki's gone. Mock's gone. That's 2 of their 5 starting offensive linemen. The Niners don't have 2 of their 5 starting offensive linemen done for the year. So I mean, it's just they're hurt, and it doesn't look good. But this is the NFL in 2025. It's a war of attrition, and it is kind of a next man up thing, and you gotta keep rolling. And I still think, I mean, I'll say this. Feliciano said today, I think they can still achieve all of their goals. Now, I'm not sure if I would agree, but I do think the season's not over, and I do expect the 49ers to win 10 games and go to the playoffs. That's what I expect.
I agree with that second statement. I think they can win 10 games and make the playoffs, but they have to make some trades in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, I know they got a young team. The NFC is wide open, but they do need to get some defensive help, because listen, it's not just 2 guys, Larry. It's Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. Like,
they're
I feel like they're your 2 best defense
and
players.
the leaders of your defense.
Yeah, your leaders, your captains. Now, I think they would have been able to be still elite on defense if they just lost Nick Bosa. Not saying he's not good, but you could have got an edge rusher and, kind of absorb that, because you still have Fred Warner. Losing Fred Warner is such a huge impact, because you lose coverage ability, you lose ability in the run defense, you just lose your captain. It's tough, man. It's going to be a hard 10 wins. If they can win 6 more games, it's going to be a very, very gritty 6 wins. And I'll tell you, this young defense, they're going to grow very quick in front of our eyes.
There's a lot of talent there. And it's going to be, they're going to have to keep coaching them up. I mean, that's really it. You got Robert Saleh. He's a hell of a coach. He's going to earn his money this year. And
Sure.
they're going to have to keep looking for guys. They're not just going to be able to lean on, they're going to have to take a flyer on a couple guys. between now and the end of the year, but it's doable. I still think this is a doable thing. I really do. The Super Bowl, I don't know, but the playoffs for sure. All right, Carson Taylor says people forget that this year was supposed to be a developmental year for the rookies. Who do you all think, or who do you think has the biggest impact the rest of the season?
Michael Williams, man. They're going to expect him to, do a lot more. I think he's your first round pick, and you should have expected him to do more. But now I think it's even going to be a bigger role in Michael. I think it's Michael.
I'm going to say Nick Martin. Nick Martin's going to get on the field eventually, and Nick Martin is a beast. He's a really good player. You saw it in the preseason. You got glimpses of it. He's raw. It's going to take some time. It's not going to be perfect. He's going to have some busted plays, but he's going to make some big plays, man, because that's what that guy does. He's going to run. He's going to hit. He's going to force fumbles. He's going to get his hands on the football. He's going to make some highlight plays. I'll say Nick Martin. I really like Upton Stout too. I think Stout looks really, really good to me. He's tough and he's aggressive and he's nasty. I love Upton Stout, but also Nick Martin. I think Nick Martin's going to have a really, really good last month of the regular season. I think it's going to vault him into what's going to be a very good NFL career. All right, that is going to do it for us. Raj, what do you got cooking the rest of the week? You got big plans?
We're just going to be
grind continues
and keeping those receipts. And that's it.
There you go. Thanks to Raj. Thanks to our sponsors. Hit like and subscribe on your way out the door. Hit the store as well. We got a bunch of people who ordered stuff. And I do a video for every person that orders anything.
Wow.
I do a video just thanking them. So I've got a bunch of videos to make later on tonight. But thanks to all of you guys. Thanks for supporting the Kreuger Show. Thanks to Kev for helping out behind the scenes. Thanks to Raj for hanging out on a Tuesday night. And we'll see you tomorrow on of course, the Kreuger Show on YouTube.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get